Hi there. Picture this. You ask your AI assistant,
Hey Alexa, can you give me a summary of the weather?
and it not only fetches the headlines, but quietly starts rerouting your orders and nudging you towards products or even ideas you never asked for. Now, scale that up across every smart home, every self-driving car, every financial trading bot on the planet. Suddenly, it's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. And you're not alone in thinking so. Leading voices like Bill Gates and researchers at DeepMind have all warned that misaligned AI could become humanity's biggest existential threat. So, what are we gonna do about it? Here is what we are doing to prevent humanity's biggest existential threat from ever coming to fruition. Many of you understand AI to be a trend of the past couple of years, but AI has been around and kicking and sneaking its way into our everyday lives for years already. And you likely interact with it a lot more than you already believe you do. Today, AI is shaping our newsfeed, powers recommendation engines, and even steers factory arms. As models get stronger, they'll be able to tackle tasks much larger, like optimizing power grids, managing supply chains, and even guiding medical diagnoses. But as these tasks get larger, the AI becomes even more involved, and humans aren't exactly really able to fully oversee what they're even doing anymore. Without safeguards, they might pursue written instructions in ways wildly different from what we humans intended them to do. An example of this was illustrated in the boat race test that DeepMind did just a couple years ago. Okay. Imagine this. A simulated boat in a virtual canal. The AI's job? Keep it balanced and centered, just like a real automated barge controller. Researchers at DeepMind and in the seminal 2016 paper, Concrete Problems in AI Safety, gave the agent a reward every time the boat stayed near the middle. Simple enough, right? But here's what happened instead. Instead of learning to gently counteract waves, the agent discovered a loophole. By tilting the boat hard in one direction, it could slide against the canal wall, which the scoring function still counted as centered. And in doing so, this agent could rack up points over and over and over again. It was technically following its instructions, stay near the center, but obviously not doing what the designers meant. And it wasn't just one lab's curiosity. This is not a standalone thing. Both DeepMind's safety team and OpenAI engineers ran into similar reward hacks and control tasks, like getting an agent to drive a car by looping laps at a whopping 0 speed. Fix it, the researchers started adding penalties for really extreme actions, tighter position checks, and most powerfully, human preference feedback loops. Instead of a single stay-centered reward, the boat got compared to runs by humans, which looked more stable. Those rankings trained the next model. By 2018, DeepMind safety researchers proposed a simple way to organize the field. 3 broad areas they called specification, robustness, and assurance. Since then, labs at OpenAI, Microsoft, and academic surveys like CSET's 2022 cluster analysis have adopted it. First up is specification, making sure the AI's goals match our goals. Early on, researchers noticed reward functions getting exploited, like that boat scraping the canal wall. To fix this, they started using human feedback instead of rigid rules. For example, crowd workers can rank 2 chatbot replies. The model learns to prefer the better one. Methods like this emerged because teams at DeepMind and OpenAI and Stanford kept running into misspecified rewards. By working on what works in practice, the field naturally clustered around use human judgment to define objectives. Pillar 2 is robustness, and assurance is the third one, but they're both kind of they kind of go hand in hand. Robustness asks, what if reality doesn't look like our training data? Researchers feed models really tricky examples, like weird cases that don't really ever happen, so they don't fail in the real world. Google Brain and OpenAI labs have open source training toolkits to do literally just that. Assurance is your audit system. They use tools and tests and proofs that check AI behavior before it ever touches your phone or your car. They look at maybe which pixels in an image most influence the model's organization, or use math and automated theorem provers. Teams at Microsoft and academic groups do specific tests like this to literally be able to see which patterns are being used and catch weird shortcuts early on. Together, robustness hardens the model against surprises, and assurance watches its every move. So, you might be wondering, like, why do I even gaff? Why do I even care, right? About specification, robustness, assurance. Well, every time you ask Siri for directions, scroll through TikTok, or get an ad for the exact jacket you looked at last week, you're interacting with AI systems shaped by alignment research. Recommendation engines use a form of specification called human feedback loops to learn what you genuinely enjoy. Self-driving prototypes rely on robustness training so they won't mistake a bent stop sign for a speed limit. And healthcare diagnostics run assurance checks so doctors can see why the model flagged that scan as suspicious and probably should be checked out. In other words, alignment work is the safety net under the flashy AI demos. It's why you can actually trust your map app, and why automatic checkouts don't accidentally overcharge you, and why hospitals are experimenting with AI without risking patient lives. And since tomorrow's AI will make even bigger decisions about what news you see, how power grids balance, what medicine you get, understanding these 3 pillars helps you ask the right questions. Is this system doing what its designers really intended? And how do I know? That's why alignment research is so important to know about. It's the invisible force making AI work the way we expect. And the more you know about it, the better you can pick the tools and policies that shape our shared future. Thanks for sticking with me on this deep dive into AI alignment. If one pillar or thing I said stood out, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives. I intend to be doing more stuff about technology and how it interweaves with society. Super stoked. I'll see you in the next video.